And that's this widget completed, so we can now move on to the chat screen. So we're going to create this under the chat folder. And this will be chat underscore screen. And this will be a stateless widget. And this is going to take 5 parameters. First one being a movie, current user ID, the username, the message stream, and the send message function. Just need to run some imports here. And then we can declare our constructor. Then we need to override the build function. And firstly down here we're going to create a function which is going to be navigate to movie details. So widget navigate to movie details. This is going to take a build context as a parameter. And this is going to return an icon button. The icon will be icons.movie. So const icon icons.movie. We want to specify a tooltip, which will be go to movie details. And then we want to specify the onPressed function. We want to use the navigator dot push. Use the context that was passed as the parameter, and then material page root. This is going to be void. Open up the brackets. We'll specify a builder. The curly braces. And we want to return movie detail widget, which we created earlier, and pass the movie. And we just need to add some semicolons here. And then we can start building our widget, which will be very simple. It will just be a custom scaffold. The title will be movie.title. Then we need to specify our list of widgets. So widget and this is going to be an expanded widget, and the child will be our message list. So first we need to pass the movie ID, which will be movie ID, then the username, which is passed in this widget, then the current user ID, the message query, and the send message function. And then we also want to send this function here as our action, and then true for the back button. And we need to pass the context here. We just need to run import and just another semicolon here, and that's this widget completed and the chat screen completed. We can now move on to the chat list screen, which will be the list of all the chat rooms. So under chat list, we want to right click here and new directory called widgets. And this is just going to have one widget, and this is going to be called chat list. And this is going to be a stateful widget. And this is going to take 4 parameters. So this will be the movie query. So it'll be stream query snapshot, and then movie. We're going to call this movie query. Then the current user ID. The username. And the message list view model. And we need an array of movies. Then we can declare our constructor. And then we need to override the state. And then create that class down here. Just override the build function and also import the movie class. Then we just need to set up some functions. So first we need to set up the listener for our movie list, which will be widget dot movie query dot listen, and it's just the same as we did earlier. So set state widget dot movies equals event dot items, and then we need to declare 2 more functions. So this one will be get latest message, And this is just going to return a specific string if there are no latest messages. So it's going to be movie.latestMessage, and we're checking if that's not empty. If it isn't empty, then we're just going to say latest message, and add the latest message to the string. Otherwise, we're going to return no messages. And the last function will be navigate to chat screen. So that's going to be a future void method. And this is going to take a movie object and we need to put async here. Then we need to declare our message stream. Which will be widget.message list view model .observe messages, and then we need to pass the movie ID, and we just need to import the message class here. Then we need to get our send message function, which is also in the view model. So that will be widget.message list view model .add message, and we don't need the parameters. Then we just call the navigator .push, and then material page route, and open brackets, specify the builder, and we want to return the chat screen. And we want to pass the movie, the current user ID which we get from the widget, the messages which we're declaring up here, which is our stream, the send message function which we also declare up here, and the username which we get from the widget. And then just a semicolon here. So that's all the functions created. Now we can go ahead and actually build this widget. So I'm just going to add some more space onto the screen, and we want to return a list view builder, the item count will be widget.movies.length, then the item builder, so context and index, the movie, which will be widget.moviesIndex, then the image, which is movie.image, and then we want to return a card, and we just need to close this function up here. And then in the card it's going to have a child which is a list tile, and inside here we want to have a leading element, which is our movie image. So cached network image, open that up. We want to pass the image URL, which is movie, which will be constants dot image URL plus the image. Then we have the height, which is going to be 50, and the width, which will also be 50. And we have the title, which is going to be a text widget with movie.title. As the text. Then we have the subtitle, which will be the latest message. So text, then get latest message. And then we're passing the movie. And then we just have the onTap method. And this will be navigate to chat screen, and we just pass the movie. We just need to remove this extra bracket here. And that's this widget completed. We can now move on to the chat list screen page. So this is just going to be a wrapper essentially around this widget. So we want to come up to the chat list directory and select new dart file chat underscore list underscore screen. This is going to be another stateful widget. And this is going to take 4 parameters: the current user ID, the username, the message query, the movie query, and the view model. Then we just need to declare the constructor. Override the state. And create this class down here and just run the import. And firstly, we're going to create a widget for our logout button. So this will be a function that returns a widget. So widget logout. This is going to take a context. And firstly, we're going to have a method here called perform logout. So just be an internal method. So future void perform logout. we want to wrap this in a try catch just in case we get any exceptions from Amplify. So try, and firstly we're going to send a snap bar. The message will be logging out. Then we're going to await amplify .auth .sign out. And we just need to import this here. And then we need to catch the exception, which is auth exception. We're just going to call that E. And then we're just going to send another snap bar with that error. So e.message. Then we want to use our navigator .push, pass the context, material, page root, and here we want to specify the builder. And here we're going to return the login screen, but we haven't built that yet. So at the moment, we're just going to return a container. And then once we've built the login screen, we'll update this function. And that's it for the internal method. Now we need to go ahead and create that button. This will just be an icon button. The icon will be icons.logout. The tooltip will be logout. And then we just need to specify the logout function. So this is going to be async again. And we're going to show a dialog to pass the context, and then the builder, this will be an alert dialog, title will be a text widget just saying, are you sure? And then we have the actions, which would just be two text buttons just saying yes or no. So text button, the on pressed for this one will just be dismiss, as this will be the no button. So that is navigator dot of context dot pop, and we just need to pass false. And then the text, and then the child for this is just going to be a text widget. Will be no. Then we can copy and paste this. For the function, it's going to be perform logout, and the child, this is just going to be yes. Then we just need And we just need to add some semicolons here. And now we can start building our chat list screen. So we got override the build function, and this is just going to be a custom scaffold. The title will be chats. And then we need to pass the array of widgets. First one will just be padding. This will be edge insets.only, and this will be left 30, right 30, top will be 20, and bottom will be 20. Then we need an expanded widget. Now be underneath here. The child will be the chat list screen. So chat list. That's going to be, we're just going to import it. So we need to pass the movie query. So movies, the current user ID, the view model, and the username. Looks like we got these the wrong way around, so widget.username and widget.viewModel. Then underneath here we want to specify some actions, so we want the logout button here. So that's going to be logout and then context, and then for the back button we just want to pass false because we don't want a back button on this screen. And just a semicolon here. And we just need to import the custom scaffold, and that is this widget done, and that's the chat list screen completed. We can now move on to the register screen. So under the register folder we want to create a new Dart file called register screen. And this is going to be a stateful widget. And we just need to declare some variables up here. So this will be a boolean is sign up complete. We're going to set this to false. Then email string, then we can declare our constructor, override our state, and we're going to create the class down here. So first we want to declare some variables for our email, the password, and the confirmation code. Now we want to declare some controllers for our text fields. So text controller, the first one is going to be called password controller. And as we got 3 fields that we care about, we want to copy and paste this 3 times. So just Control and D for Windows. So email controller will be the next one. And the last one will be the confirmation code controller. Now we want to set up listeners for this. So firstly, we have the password controller .add. Okay, this is complaining because it isn't inside the build override, so we just need to create the override here and then add these methods and variables in here. So if we put that under here, and now we can add our listener. And we just want to check if the length of the text is greater than 1. As Amplify will handle all the password validation for us, we don't actually need to do it on the device. But if this was production, I probably would suggest doing some sort of validation on a device also. And the password is going to be password controller .text to string. Now we just need to copy and paste this 2 more times for the other controllers. So this one will be email controller and email. And then this one will be the confirmation code. Confirmation code. Now we need to declare the method for registering a user. So this will be a asynchronous method. So feature void register user. This is going to take a string, which is an email, now a password. And then firstly, we just need to validate whether the fields are empty or not. So if email is empty or password is empty, we're going to show a snack bar error. And the message will just be pretty generic, please provide a email and password. And if this is the case, we're just going to return here. Otherwise, we're going to try and register the user. So we want to run a try catch. To register a user on Amplify, we need to use amplify auth.signup, and this is a signup result class. So signup result, I'm just going to call this res equals await amplify .auth.signup, and we just need to pass the username, which should be username, and the password. The password. Then we just need to run the imports. So import amplify and import signup result. Yep, this is going to be the email. And if that was successful, we want to set the state and then we're just checking if res is sign up complete. Then we're just going to update these variables, so widget.email equals email, widget.is sign up complete equals true. And then at this point, we're going to change the screen and show the confirmation code. So we just want to show a snap bar so the user knows what's going on. Please provide verification confirmation code. Just put from email. Then if we get an exception, we just want to use the snap bar again. And we're just going to show the message. So and then we need another function for verifying the confirmation code. So it's going to be another asynchronous function. This is going to take the code and the username. Then we need another try catch. And this is going to be another sign up result variable, so res.await, and then it's just going to be a slightly different method, so amplify.auth.confirm sign up. And then we're just going to pass the username and the confirmation code, which is just going to be code. Now if that's successful, we just want to update the state again. If res.is sign up complete, we're going to show a snap bar and then select registered. And then we're going to create another function here called navigate to login. And that is the same function that we created on the other screen, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste that. So it'll be logout, and it's just going to be this here. So that's going to be void navigate to login. We just need to import material page.root, and then we're just going to update that container once we've created the login screen. And we just need to put this up here. And then we just need to catch the exception. So if we get a failure while sending the confirmation code, and we're just going to do the same thing, just showing a snap bar. Now we can go ahead and start building this widget. So we want to return a custom scaffold. The title of this is going to be register. Then we need to pass the widget array. So inside our widget list, firstly we need an expanded widget, and the child is going to be a column. Then we need to set the alignment, so main axis alignment will be main axis alignment dot center, and then the cross axis alignment will be cross-axis alignment center again. And inside this column we're going to have some children widgets. So first thing is going to be image.asset, and this is the movie reel image that I put in here earlier. This is all in the GitHub also, so images/movie_reel.png. We want to specify the height, so the height and width for this is going to be 80. Then the next child is going to be a text widget. The title of this is going to be Movie Talk. Then we just need to specify a style. It's going to be colors.black. Font size is going to be 30, and the font family is going to be Notable, which is in our assets folder. Then for the next part we want to check whether the sign up has been completed or not. So that's going to be widget.isSignUpComplete, and if it is, then we want to show the confirmation code field. So that's going to be edge inserts only, and then on the right 120, and then the same for the left and the bottom. And then the child is going to be a text field. The controller is going to be a confirmation code controller. We want to obscure the text. And then we need to add a decoration. So that's going to be input decoration. And we need to specify a border. It's going to be outline input border. And the label text. Which is going to be confirmation code. Now, if the user isn't signed up, we want to show the username and password fields. So that's going to be a column, and it's going to be very similar to the confirmation code. So I'm just going to go and copy and paste these. So for the first one, we just need to specify the children here. So instead of confirmation code, it's going to be email. This is all going to stay the same. Obscure text is going to be removed. The controller will be the email controller, and the padding is going to change also. It's going to be edge inserts.all, and after this we need another padding widget for our password. And this is going to be slightly different. So on the right we want 12, on the left we want 12, and on the bottom we want 12. Obscure text is going to be true, and we're going to have the password controller here, and this is just going to be called. And just here we want the confirm or register button. That's the style. The background color is going to be red. So that's material state property.all, colors dot red. Then the unpressed. So firstly we need to check whether sign up is complete or not. If it is complete, then we want to verify the code. And then we're going to pass the confirmation code and the email, so widget.email. And then otherwise we want to register the user. And then we have a child on this text button, which is just going to be the text field. So text. And then we need to check again whether the sign up is complete or not. If it is, then we want it to be confirmed, so confirm the confirmation code. Otherwise, we want to put the register text here. And the style is going to be text style. Now we're going to pass the color, and then colors.white. And then we've just got an error up here for the custom scaffold, so we just need to import it. And we've got some errors here. Okay, I think it's because we're not passing null here for the actions. And then the back button, we want it to be true because the register screen will need a back button. And that is this screen completed, and now we can move on to the login screen. So now the register screen has been completed, I think it's a good place to end this video. If you could join me in the next video where we'll be creating the login screen. Please like and comment.